If you don't have your mission and your vision super dialed in, then you say yes to everything because you don't exactly know what you're trying to accomplish. If your vision is, we're going to win the whole world, okay, you're not going to say no to very many things.
Yeah.
Versus like our mission and vision is the northwest suburbs of Chicago, which means then you can know what to say no to of things that are outside of that don't fit that tightly. Holly, it's go time. Holly!
I can't keep a straight face.
Is that how your snores sound too?
I had to work really hard at that because I don't snore.
That was a little disturbing.
Today's episode is all about systems, which makes me want to fall asleep, but makes Tim super excited. So that was my whole, I won Thespian of the Year in high school. You think I would still win?
Based on that little data point, no.
Well, it was fun to try. But welcome to episode 7 of the LeadingSmart podcast, season 2, 40 lessons in 40 years. But seriously, we're going to talk about how systems and processes are underrated. I always get underrated and overrated confused.
Because your exact opposite.
But it's because your book Fairness is overrated.
That's true.
So I think when I'm talking to you, that is like your brand.
You associate that word with me. Okay.
Yeah, but systems it's strategies, by the way. I said processes. Systems and strategies are underrated. That's what we're talking about today. See, I'm already confused. So set me straight, Tim. Let's start with the lesson. So this is lesson 16 in the ebook, 40 Lessons in 40 Years.
I mean, you just turn that little number upside down.
We should probably start over, but we're not. We're just here.
Keep going.
We're doing it. All right. It's called Systems Are Pastoral.
I don't want to hear you snore again. We can't start over.
That's a hot take. Systems are pastoral. You say a church without good systems communicates lack of care for the people and urgency around the mission. Well-run processes honor people. I wholeheartedly agree to that. And I joke that I'm not a systems. I actually am. Like, I thrive in, I created a framework, the Ready framework. Like, I actually think that as a person who loves spontaneity, you can't really be spontaneous unless you plan for it. And so I love systems and processes.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
That's good. You can't be spontaneous if you don't plan for it.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just reactive,
but
wrapped in a branded container of spontaneity. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk us through this hot take of systems are pastoral.
I really do like systems a lot. If I'm coming up against an issue or problem, it's like, here's an example. So at home, trash comes on Thursday morning. Trash service comes Thursday morning. We're consistently forgetting to put our trash out Wednesday night. Let's create a system. And the system is we told Alexa to remind us at 9 p.m. on Wednesday nights to take the trash out. And it's just a system, right? You think about that like if you are on prescriptions, you have some kind of system. Maybe the system is you have a pill bottle that has, Sunday through Saturday on it. And you know that if you didn't open it and take the pills, then you didn't do what you were supposed to do that day. So whatever that is, like, and we're working with churches or organizations, if there's a repetitive thing that is going wrong or that you're hitting your head against or that is frustrating, it's probably a system problem. A system could fix that and can solve that for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one of the areas over the last 40 years where you've really created a lot of systems is around staffing and hiring. So what are the lessons you've learned around that specific topic within systems and strategies over the years?
So kind of what I want to focus on here is the hiring order at which you bring a systems person onto the team. I think a lot of times pastors, they're trained theologically, they're trained in ministry, they're not usually, I'm going to overgeneralize, usually senior lead pastors are not systems thinkers. That's not their go-to. They're theologians, or they're like ministry minded, or they're just a shepherd. They love people. They're usually not systems minded. And therefore they can sometimes undervalue systems and the importance of having a systems person on the team. So often, if you're starting a church tomorrow and it's who's going to be your first hire? You're going to use a whole lot of volunteers, but who's going to be your first hire? Probably worship. Maybe kids.
Yeah.
One of those two is going to come first. The other one's going to come next. Then you're going to hire a student pastor. And then often, if your church is over, like I was hired as an executive pastor when the church was like under 300, probably at least under 400 when I went into that role. That's probably earlier than it needs to be for most churches, but somewhere around 500-600, you get to that size, you're going to have someone on the team who's constantly thinking, maybe a bit more organized, a bit more detail oriented, a bit more finance inclined, numbers inclined, and someone who can help you develop those systems.
Mm-hmm. There's a book that a lot of church executive teams I know have been inspired by called Rocket Fuel, which is this idea around the visionary and the integrator, which is interesting because I think EOS maybe was the book Traction to kind of introduce this idea, but then Rocket Fuel has
added rocket fuel to the idea.
Well, is it the same authors?
I think so.
Oh, okay. That's why.
I'm not a ambassador for EOS. I've never used the system, but I am an ambassador for that book, Rocket Fuel. It's a really great book. I wish I'd written it, and therefore I'd be getting the royalties, but I didn't. So we'll let them get them. But it's all about just the magic that happens. And I think for a senior pastor, executive pastor team, they should read that book, go through it together, and just talk about the magic that works when you have a visionary and an integrator. And often, not always true, often the senior lead pastor and or maybe the board around them are the visionaries, or is the visionary, and the executive pastor, I think when it works well, is the integrator. And when I first went to Granger and they were interviewing me, Phil McMartin we were in a conference room, and Phil McMartin, who was a lay guy in the church, was the head of the personnel committee, and he was interviewing me, and he said, "Tim, why do you think, or what's your passion around this? Why do you think you'd be a good fit?" And I said, "Phil, I feel like my life mission at the time is like to put feet to the vision, like come alongside a dynamic visionary and help just put feet to the vision, help them kind of figure that." And that's what an integrator does. Mm-hmm. And you do that sometimes through systems. You do that through hiring, which takes systems. You do that through prioritizing what's the next hill to take. We have 1,000 directions. What are we going to do next? Finances, all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are the systems over the last 40 years when you look back? Like, what are the critical systems? Because sometimes, and this is where like I joke around this topic, I think we can over-engineer. Like, I would love to do a podcast interview about like systems and strategies are overrated because sometimes I think it keeps us from just starting. I'm working with a client right now where they love to like live up in using Working Genius terminology, like WI, where it's like, we never try any of our strategies because we're always reinventing them before we've even started. Yeah. And so as an activator, I'm a huge advocate for like, who cares? Just start and know that it's going to be broken. But what we're looking for is what's broken, and then we're going to fix it, and then we're going to do it again, and we're going to. So, yeah, what are the must-have systems and strategies, and what are the ones that you would say stop overthinking that, move on? One
that I see even like medium-sized and even super big churches not being effective at is in their spending or budgeting type of systems. And what happens without systems there, like I'm an advocate believer in all, like you should push decisions down as far as like they should be made at the lowest level in the organization as possible. Mm-hmm. And then the lead team, the senior team should only be making decisions that only they can make, which shouldn't be very many if you got good systems. So what happens with budgeting is you're just like because you don't have a budget and you're not giving good spending authority and parameters around that, then things that are approved, where someone who's like leading, let's say, kids ministry, they should be able to spend the money that's budgeted in kids ministry with some parameters, systems that like, okay, you can spend up to $1,000 and you can not go over your budget. And obviously you got to turn your receipts in. But as long as it's been approved, you can spend the money. Well, I've been working recently with a church that's running close to 15,000 people. They do not have a budget where people can actually make decisions. So either one or two things are happening. People are just making decisions without any kind of parameters, or they're having to go up and ask every single time, "Hey, can we, spend $120 on such and such?" Because they don't have a system that frees them up to be able to spend that money. Yeah. I think another one is your calendar. Yes. A system around your like what gets added to the calendar. I was working with another church that's really big, and they do something every year where they have like worship nights at their individual campuses. They have a whole lot of locations. And so this was maybe January, and they're like, okay, when are we going to do the vision, or when are we going to do the worship nights at the campuses in May? And I talked to them afterwards. I said, you do this every year. Why are you waiting till January? Like that's a decision, and through a system, a good calendaring planning system, that you can decide 15 months in advance, and everyone knows. And it just takes all the angst around, oh man, we planned this instead of that. We got to cancel this because we forgot the worship night, and just, or we don't know. And so it's going to happen here at this location, here at a different location, or different time. It just becomes noisy for people and confusing for people because you don't have the clarity, because you don't have the system. Can you tell I like systems?
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. So devil's advocate here.
Okay.
Because I hear this a lot, which is, doesn't planning, where is room for the Holy Spirit, or, pivoting to crisis or needs if you are so systematized? So what would you say to that?
2 answers. The snarky answer would be, the Holy Spirit was there 12 months ago. You could have planned it then. Why weren't you relying on him then? Okay, that's a snarky answer. The real answer is leave some space for those things. There are going to be some things that are going to come up. Let's say, for example, you've planned your local ministry missions money. So you're going to give money for backpacks to the school and for these under-resourced kids, and you're going to feed the hungry here, whatever. You kind of plan that. And then a tornado ravages the city like right next to you. Well, you couldn't have foreseen that. You can't just say, it was not in our budget, sorry, we can't help. You got to figure that out. Same in calendaring. We would plan, one quick example, at Granger, we would plan our series, our weekend teaching series, 12 months in advance. And rarely altered from that. But I remember like when 9/11 happened, and we had a series starting the next Sunday called Extreme Faith, and it was based in our visual for it was extreme sports. So we had this whole stage set built, and the stage set had these high-rise buildings with these extreme sports in front of it, like skydivers. So then 9/11 happens, and you have people jumping out of buildings, and we've got a stage set with these tall buildings with skydivers.
Yeah.
Like, scrap the whole thing, scrap the topic, scrap everything. We had to pivot because God was doing something else in that time, and we needed to speak to it.
Yeah, that's good. Those were good answers, Tim, to my
Thank you.
counter argument.
Even the
there.
snarky answer was?
Yes. Okay. What about, how do you know what to say no to? I think I'm really fascinated to hear your answer on this over 40 years. Because I think some of us, like me, are prone to say yes to everything. And then others of us are prone to say no, whether it's fear or scarcity mindset or, so yeah. How do you know what to say no to?
Well, let me just say first, like in 40 years, I rarely ever seen an organization do well at this.
Yeah.
One example would be Tony Morgan and the Unstuck Group. They were fantastic, and Tony was great at, here's what we're doing, and we're saying no to everything else. That's the lane we're in. But most churches, I've sat with scores of churches in rooms where like, okay, let's make a stop doing list. You rarely get to it. I've actually got a blog coming out on just kind of how do you get around that, or how do you get about that, of what to say no to. But it's got to be in light of, like, if you don't have your mission and your vision super dialed in, then you say yes to everything because you don't exactly know what you're trying to accomplish. To the point of, like, if your vision is, we're going to win the whole world. Okay, you're not going to say no to very many things.
Yeah.
Versus like our mission and vision is the northwest suburbs of Chicago, which means then you can know what to say no to of things that are outside of that don't fit that tightly. If your goal is to, or if one of your mission vision or your target audience or whatever is, we're going to reach young adults or young families, it's going to filter what you say yes to and what you probably should say no to. One other big thing on this is, it'll help you say no to things if you measure well. So we started doing this at Willow maybe 2 years before I left, of asking everyone on every single thing that went on the calendar or that went in the budget, they had to be able to say, this is the purpose of it. This is how it helps us accomplish our mission. So let's say a campus is doing a vintage classic car, what are those called? Yeah, show in the parking lot.
Yep.
Okay, fine. What's the purpose of it, and how does that tie in? Well, the purpose is exposure, so people know that our church is here. So how are you going to measure that? Well, we're going to measure that by people coming back, to coming to church that next Sunday or whatever, brand new people. However, then on the backside of the event, you actually say, okay, how'd you measure it, and did it work? And maybe there's a reason. Maybe it's like, no, we couldn't measure any, but here's why we think we couldn't measure. And so they have a reason. The reason might be we just didn't, we didn't have a really good way to tell if they were coming from the classic car show or from some other reason. So we're going to sharpen up our new visitors card next time. It's like, okay, great, let's do it another year. But you get you've done it twice and you've gotten no results that you said you're after. Pull the plug. Cancel it. Because churches aren't there to be social clubs, unless that's your goal. But most of the time, they're not there to be just to have events or just to create community. So make sure you know what you're out after and measure it, and then make the hard decisions.
Which you're sparking for me a similar question, but the opposite is how can you determine what is having momentum and how to double down on that? Is it just kind of the same thing, but the opposite of once you are seeing results, keep doing that because that has momentum? Or are there other systems and strategies that...
So I'll give you an example, something that had momentum, but we had to pull the plug on. This would be, this was at Willow, one of our campuses, Easter egg drop, helicopter, drop a bunch of...
No way.
You kind of have people on the perimeter of a field, helicopter comes over, drops 10,000 plastic eggs, and then, you say go, or I don't know if it's a chime or a beep or whatever, and then the kids go, oh my goodness, we had injuries, we had
I was about to say, my brain is going into all of the...
We didn't have enough eggs. I mean, we had these little kids that they couldn't find one egg because we were just way too many people. So, and the goals were to get, it was out of control. It was unmanageable. It had tons of momentum.
Meaning when you say tons of momentum, lots of people showed up.
Yeah.
They loved it.
Let's create an event and get people to an event on our church property so they know we're here.
Yeah.
Totally worked. But we didn't deliver, quality-wise values, some of our values of just caring for people well. We couldn't deliver on, so had to pull the plug on it. So here's what's hard to gauge when we're talking about what should we stop doing, or what goes on the calendar and what shouldn't go on the calendar. When you have overall momentum as a church. So at Granger, arguably, we had significant momentum from 1994 to about 2006. So that's a 10 or 12 year run there, where every single thing we did worked. Like anything we touched turned to gold. Anything we put on, just people would come by the hundreds and then by the thousands. And so when that's happening, it's really hard to have a stop doing list because you actually don't know what's not working. You have so much momentum. The same is true when you lose momentum, when you have negative momentum and nothing you do seems to be working. And then you start pointing your fingers and then you start turning too many dials. So you turn 9 dials.
Oh man,
and
I've been there.
Then you don't know what worked and what didn't. Maybe
Yeah.
we shouldn't have turned that dial. Maybe that actually worked against us. And so you kind of mess with too many of the variables. And that can work against you as well.
Yeah, man. Yes, I've been there on that, where you change so many variables. It's the scientific method, right? It's change one thing at a time.
Yeah.
But then there's times where you feel you can't afford to wait.
You don't have time. Yeah.
Yes, you don't have time.
Right.
So good. All right. Well, I guess you've convinced me. The systems and strategies are pretty helpful.
Yeah. They're underrated and overrated in your mind.
Yes, absolutely.
Perfect.
All right. I'm really excited about our fun segment today. This one is called Stevens or Maxwell. And I have 6 quotes. I'm going to pull out my phone for this one.
Maxwell House, the coffee?
No, John Maxwell.
John Maxwell.
The author.
Dr. John C. Maxwell.
Yes. And author Tim Stevens.
Who's not a doctor.
Who is not a doctor. So I'm going to pull out my phone for this one because I didn't want Tim to see these ahead of time. So here we go. All right.
What are we doing again?
So I've got 6 quotes.
Okay.
I'm going to say one, and you have to tell me if you said it or if John Maxwell said it.
And what, I said it out loud, or
no,
wrote
in
it in a book? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
For both of these.
Okay.
So all 6 of these quotes are either from a Tim Stevens book
Oh, fascinating.
or a John Maxwell book. Okay?
All right. I feel can I just give myself an A+ if I get 4 out of 6, or do I have to get 6 out of 6 to get an A+? I'm trying to lower the bar.
I'll go easy on you today. 4.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the first one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
When you value all people, everybody wins. When you value all people, everybody wins.
I feel 1,000 million people could have said that.
Mm-hmm.
When you value all people, everyone wins. I'm going to say Maxwell.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Got one, ladies and gentlemen.
1 for 1.
1 point. Can you keep track of the mathing?
I've got the math.
Okay, cool. Okay. Second one is, if you don't listen to them, you're shrinking your influence and limiting your impact. If you can't work with people who disagree with you, you will never become the leader you could be.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I think Maxwell wrote that.
You're right again.
Okay.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
2 for 2.
Next one. During tough times, leaders stretch to the challenge while followers shrink from the challenge.
Oh, that's good. If I said it, I probably repeated it. I probably got it. I stole it from someone. But I'm going to give that one to me. I think I said it.
Correct.
Really?
You're 3 for 3 right now.
Do you have what I wrote that in, or do you?
Yeah. Fairness is overrated.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay. The next one is. Oh, crap. I think I left off some of the quote. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. We can't use that one.
All right. So we're only going to.
That's so strange. I missed the end of it. So now we're only doing 5.
Okay.
So you can get, what are we, 3 out of 5?
So I'm already a winner.
So you're already a winner.
Thank you.
Might as well end our fun segment, ladies and gentlemen. Tim's a winner. No, we can keep going. Okay.
All right.
There is nothing that will empower and encourage your team more than to know you listen to them.
I'm going to take that one. I think that's me.
Yes.
4.
Good
or
job.
5.
I'm so excited for you for doing a good job, aren't
This
I?
is a fun game. I love winning games.
Okay. Okay, ready? This is the last one.
Okay.
Instead of widening the chasm between us, we need to build bridges and move toward others while looking for common ground.
Oh, wow. Did you look in more than one of my books? Or you're not going to tell me?
I'm not telling you.
Okay. Me.
That was John Maxwell.
Okay.
Okay, so some interesting
I
things.
feel like I wrote something like that in Marked by Love.
Yeah.
I don't know if you pulled from that.
So actually, I only pulled from one book from each of you.
Okay.
So all of yours were from Fairness is Overrated.
Okay.
Which, guys, if you have not read this book, it's so good. And my favorite part is that it's like all super short chapters, which is totally my vibe.
And they're probably 33 cents on Amazon. So just go ahead and get one.
It's so good. Okay, and then John Maxwell's were all from his most recent book, which is High Level Leadership, or High Road. Oh gosh, High Road Leadership, I think is what it's called. Anyway,
Okay.
of course I can't remember the exact title.
So you picked a book of his that you knew I hadn't read probably because it's new.
Oh no, well I just picked. I picked one that I thought was like most like yours.
Okay.
Because this whole book is
You wanted to make
it's
it
like
hard.
in a divided state as a country or really globe right now, like leading through picking the high road is kind of his whole philosophy in that book. I think it came out last year.
Okay.
So good
Fun.
job.
Thank you. That
And
was
then
fun.
I'm disappointed that I messed up that quote. It says an unguarded strength is a double
weakness.
Okay, I've left off the word weakness.
And if
That's
that was
from
in my
Fairness
book,
is Over-
I
yeah.
was quoting Gordon MacDonald. That's actually a Gordon MacDonald quote.
Oh, oops.
But I think I did put it in the book.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, it's from Fairness is Overrated.
Yeah, that's
But-
what ChatGPT told you.
No, Goodreads,
Oh,
which is, so goodreads.com, which is like, I guess Amazon technically owns them.
okay.
And like readers, first of all, Fairness is Overrated is very high rated on Goodreads. Did
Really?
you know that? And you have a
No.
lot of reviews.
No,
Like I can't remember how many it was, but I was more than I thought.
I don't
No
know that
offense.
I've ever been on Goodreads.
Yeah. People like can leave a review and then it's quotes. Like they can put like their favorite quotes
Okay.
from the book. So that's where I got all of these.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was episode 7, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of reminders before we close out this episode. First of all, go to leadingsmart.com/lessons/podcast to download the ebook that accompanies this season called 40 Lessons in 40 Years. And then we want to tell you about one of our partners. So this partner is called Touchpoint. We are so grateful for them because they've been with us for several years now. And Touchpoint is a church CMS or CHMS, I guess is the technical term for it. So it's church management system where you can keep track of all of your people. You can further engage all of your people, keep all of your data in one place. And what I really like about Touchpoint is it's an all-in-one solution. There's a lot of great systems out there for sure. And Touchpoint is the first to say that, which I really appreciate about them. They're like, hey, we're not for everybody. But instead of having lots of data in different apps or different systems, you can bring it all together into Touchpoint. And so we've really enjoyed getting to know their team, and
which fits well on this topic of
yes.
data and systems.
Absolutely. Totally forgot about that connection there.
They'll help you figure out how to measure stuff.
And how to further engage your community. Because that's one of the, I was just talking to a church about this week. Like, it's not about having a clean database. Like, of course, and this is where, to the conversation of systems and strategies, it's like, we don't just want a system or a strategy just to have it. We want it to actually activate our team, activate our people, activate our mission. And so how do you further engage the people that are in your database? And Touchpoint enables you to do that really easily. So thank you, Touchpoint. Okay, next episode is all about age. So thanks for that, Tim, for that reminder.
It's about age.
Well, I'm still in my mid-30s, so...
It's not about age. It's about how... It kind of is, I guess.
I'm like, somebody's getting defensive over here.
It's like, as you have more rotations around the sun...
As you become more wise...
How do you not fade? How do you not lose, like, the energy, the ambition, the accomplishments, the success? How do you not lose that as you get older?
So you tell us.
It's a little bit about aging.
As you listen to the next episode, do you think it's about age or not? All right, we'll see you there, episode 8.